Today's conversation is going to, of course, focus on the controversial statement by presidential aides Bayo Onanuga and also Tega Ogra talking about the reshuffle of the Federal Executive Council due to alleged non-performance of some ministers and also probably a change in the way things are currently done in the administration. Of course, the presidential aides had mentioned that the president is very keen on seeing his ministers go out there to blow their own trumpets, telling Nigerians what they have done in the course of the last 1 year or so since the administration, of course, came into power, which brings the question to the minds of many Nigerians whether these ministers have actually performed well enough to be retained in office. 48 names were sent to the National Assembly for screening and of course for confirmation, out of which of course 45 of them made it as ministers. During the course of their sojourn as ministers, some found their way out of the cabinet, talking about of course former governor of Plateau State, Simon Lalong, who took up the national assignment of becoming a Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from one national assignment, of course, as Minister of Labor and Productivity, moving over to the National Assembly to serve as Senator, leaving the position of Minister vacant with just the Minister of State, of course, in Kiruka Onyeji acting in that capacity. Now, also in the humanitarian affairs side, we see the controversial suspension of former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Betta Edu, who, of course, was also not replaced till this moment. Questions about the viability and, of course, whether the ministry is going to survive the next coming days, weeks, months, or even years continues to come up. But then, what is your take? Simply call the numbers displayed on your screen. Let's call this maybe an assessment, sort of, when Nigerians call in, to give their honest opinions on the performance of their ministers, to share, whether they've been satisfied with these ministers. Talk about the different ministries, 45 ministers, ministers and Minister of State, of course, higher and lower ministers occupying these ministries with the intention of delivering the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President to Nigerians. Have these ministers delivered this renewed hope agenda to all Nigerians? What's your take on how they have performed so far? Is it the Minister of Finance or the Minister of Health or the Minister of Agriculture? What is your take on the performance and whether these ministers, should be retained or replaced? I think we have our first caller now. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, Sagir. My name is Shetima Kudima, calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shetima from Maiduguri. Welcome to the program. Of course, it's a pleasure having you. How's Maiduguri this morning?
Maiduguri, Alhamdulillah, we are managing to push life. I think you have been to Bulabuli.
Indeed, I was at Bulabuli and I know you saw me.
I know you are reporting that respect.
Interesting, yes, indeed. While we'll get time to chit chat about that, but then, what's your take on the president's plan to reshuffle his cabinet? Do you think it's a step in the right direction?
Well, it is good. Settle the cabinet, but I think it is too early. To me, it is too early. I think it is only 1 year in office. So, but notwithstanding, provided he have decided to reshuffle the cabinet is good, but they should not allow politics to overtake the reshuffling. True of the matter is they should look at the performance. The weak ones should be stepped aside. Or they look at the professionalism. If you are specialized on a field, then they will give you. If they see the field that they give you is out of your field, then they change. But the reshuffling is very, very good. I can recall the past administration of the General Muhammadu Buhari. It was lack of reshuffling of the cabinet bring all these shortcomings because you allow the minister to stay in one ministry for 8 years. It's too bad.
Indeed.
It's too bad, honestly speaking. But it is a welcome development. If you should reshuffle the cabinet, but he will look at the performance first. The performance is very, very important.
Indeed.
The weak ones, they should step aside.
Thank you so much.
One that they are willing to make a good contribution.
Indeed.
Then they will push.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Shetima, for that hot take on these developments. Of course, Shetima Yakudima calling all the way from Maiduguri, Borno State, talking about the need for the reshuffling to happen because we saw in the past how some ministers had spent a total of 8 years, the entire span of the former president's tenure as ministers. The question of whether that had yielded any positive results in the lives of Nigerians is what Shetima was trying to raise. Hence, his submission that it's important to have the reshuffle. But we have another caller now. Good morning. Welcome to Daybreak Interactive. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. Okay, I believe we lost that call, but then the conversations about the performance of this minister, the questions of whether they should stay or not. Who are some of these ministers that you would like to see, you would like to continue to see? Who are some of those that maybe you feel should do better? These are some of the questions, that we hope to get answered this morning. But then let's get this caller. Good morning, welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I am Joseph. I'm calling from Kogi State.
Joseph from Kogi State.
Yeah, from Kogi State.
All right, proceed, Joseph.
I am Isiaka, not Joseph.
Oh, my apologies then, Isiaka. Go ahead with your contributions.
Yes, to solve the cabinet is fine.
Okay.
Yes, to solve the cabinet is very, very good. But the weaker ones, if we put aside, why do it's very nice, genuine need for this country to move ahead. Let them remain and contribute to the progress of this country. That is what we want. And two, the hardship on the Nigerians is too much. The government of the day should please, for Allah's sake, should please kindly see to the service of the masses to come to our aid, so that people will not cry too much. The transport fare is too much. The petrol problem is another. And for the people, let them help us to assist us. Nigerians are tired.
Indeed.
But the weaker minister should go. And two, if, for example, we have a Ministry of Federal Works Housing. We have FEMA. That's the meeting of issues. So if the Federal Ministry of Work is there, look at our roads. The federals are not doing their work.
Indeed.
Please let the federal ministry of work take charge of everything. Our roads and roads are bad. Federals are taking money. They are not doing it. For example, if you are living leader to Sukana, the road is very, very bad. This is federal government rule, but the federals are taking money. They are not doing anything.
So you feel that FEMA has not been maintaining federal roads across the country?
From Lokoja, yes, they are. They have been doing another thing, but in one place, I'm telling you, if you are looking to go down to our side, it is very, very sympathetic. The parties will use the place like about to
truly
kidnap people. The road is very, very bad. If I live at the Water Bridge down to Ampa, the road is very, very bad.
All right, Isiaka.
You can't live at Ampa now.
Isiaka, thank you so much for your contributions. Hopefully those in authority that, of course, could effect the change that you seek can hear you and can hear your contributions with regards to the activities of FEMA and, how you think that they've not been living up to expectations in terms of delivering their responsibilities to, to the people. But then talk about living up to one's responsibility. Which other ministry or which other minister would you like to see remain? Because of course there have been some of them who have shown some form of intelligence or have in one way or the other impressed Nigerians, except Nigerians are saying that all of the ministers have not performed as much as they would want, especially because of the state of the economy. But we have another caller now. Good morning, welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from? So quick rules of engagement. I would like for you to please turn down the volume of your TV set so it doesn't interfere with the conversation. Else, unfortunately, I would have to let you go. and we lost that caller. Please, viewers, if you're calling into the program, turn down the volume of your TV set so it doesn't interfere with our conversation. We have another caller now. Good morning, welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, I'm Mr. Frank, calling from Enugu State. This is a precise.
Mr. Frank from Enugu State.
This is a precise. This is a local government.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the local government, but please go ahead, Mr. Frank.
Isuzo, local government. Isuzo.
Okay, Isuzo. Please go ahead, Mr. Frank from Isuzo in Enugu.
Yes. Thank you very much. Your program is timely.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes. I believe the president in his wisdom have seen the level of cooperation and possibly the integrity of every person has given a portfolio and an assignment. So this rounds, I believe, is no more business as usual. For this past 15 months or thereabout, or 14 months as the case may be, if it have served for settlement of those who helped me get the position, let him look for some technocrats who knows the job very well, for him to see if he can go through this his agenda he says is a new hope for Nigerians. Those who have something to contribute, who are not thinking of how to put one person in the position or the other in their state or in their local government or whatsoever. So if you look at the administration of Goodluck Jonathan, Okonjo-Iweala was that place, but I think the affairs of the economy and things were moving very well. There's no magic, there's no rocket science in trying to make things work.
Indeed.
All this issue of former governor, former that, people who have looted money, who have packed money in their coffers. You now still bring the person to be minister. How will the person has not felt the impulse of the masses, the impulse of Nigeria? Look at how people are shouting. President is doing best in his capacity, but it's not turning down. I want to give you just a little example. I was part of the cooperative society APAS, as the case may be. A minister came down to our local government to flag off 60 local government. Aya Mary, Usu One, Isuzu, and Kano East, and rest of. Do you know that the fertilizer that was given to some of us as farmers to contribute to the agricultural development? Do you know that the president, the minister, after flagging that very items up, one fertilizer, organic fertilizer, one urea, one NPK, and one my name fall in a rice. Some people say they don't give you 1 kg of maize. You know, when this is the level, they say we should pay 10% of the money. We calculated it. The money was 102,500 naira. We are expected to pay 51,250 naira. When they left, those that left those items with the local government insisted that we must to pay that 102,500, which is the full money of that particular fertilizer at the market.
Interesting. So the subsidy was removed.
The government paid half for us. I have the record.
They insisted you must pay the full balance.
Those are tax coordinators that we are asked to come and receive our own payment, warehouse payment. Government paid half for the one farmer.
Mr. Frank.
The government sent text to us. We got text from the federal government direct as the beneficiaries.
All right. Mr. Frank, you've had a direct experience with I would say the Ministry of Agriculture at this point, or let's say a particular minister. Now this brings me to my question of whether you think that some of these ministers should be retained or should be replaced for their non-performance.
What I'm saying in respect to that is that I listen.
And I'm with you. But of course, we have to wrap up this conversation because others are trying to call as well.
Okay, sorry, sir. Any policy targeted to meet at the people should be supervised by those who provided this to, so that people cannot take advantage of that.
Thank you so much.
That is my take, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Frank.
Those who are doing well should be repaid. Those that are not doing well should be scrapped. They should go and rest, so that should come up and do the job.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Frank. Mr. Frank called all the way from Isiuzo in Enugu State. That's been his take on the matter. Anybody that has not performed should be replaced. And of course, those who have performed should be given an opportunity to continue to deliver. Now we have another caller. We take his submission and of course continue to get reactions, hopefully from those that have sent messages via text as well. Good morning, welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. You may have to speak up. I can barely make out what you're saying.
My name is Elema Obonna. I am calling from Ebonyi State.
Mr. Ogbonna from Ebonyi State, welcome to the program. Please, let's hear your take on the conversation. Should the president reshuffle his cabinet? Mr. Ogbonna, are you there?
Very necessary. Very, very necessary. But
all right.
In terms of the performing ministers, at least.
Yes, of course.
Minister of Wars, Engineer Daybreak is very active in his role. So government should not even plan to remove him or to bring more non-competent hand in handling the affairs of the country.
But Mr. Ogbonna, you know, some people will say that you're saying this because the minister is from your state. You told me you're from Ebonyi State and you're saying the minister David Umahi has been an excellent performing minister. You have to show us evidence, so Mr. Ogbonna.
No. If you come to Ebonyi State and see what Steve has done before he went to minister, it is a good testimony.
Okay. So
it's a very good testimony. If anybody from the southeast, from Ebonyi State, can confirm to you that Engineer Daybreak is engineering in action.
Okay, so I think people should call onto the program, of course, if you can hear me and you're watching this program, to attest to what Mr. Ogbonna is saying about the Minister of Works doing an excellent job, and of course, they called that he be retained. But then again, Mr. Ogbonna, talk to me about other ministers. Do you feel that some of them have not performed well and of course should be replaced, you know, because of their non-performance, which some people have said has been the reason why Nigerians have continued to face challenges?
Yes. Some of them are not doing their work. Some of them just sit down, fold hands, they follow others.
Indeed.
So it is very okay. If any minister who did not perform well should be replaced.
All right.
The office should be reshuffled. But let us take the opportunity and see who is doing enough, who is doing reasonably should be handled. Even if he can be taking another office added to the one he has, as long as you know what you are doing.
Definitely.
Our country needs somebody who can help us grow.
Truly and surely. Definitely. Thank you so much, Mr. Ogbonna, for those contributions on the topic this morning. Thank you so much for calling. Mr. Ogbonna says the Minister of Works, David Umahi, and also former Governor of Ebonyi State, has been a well-performing minister. Well, thank you so much, Mr. David, for that. And of course, the question as to whether it's right or as should be the case of appointing individuals based on the fact that they are more of political allies more than their qualifications is something, of course, that I want to hear from viewers in regards to expectations, delivery, and how these may have impacted the performance or the ability of these ministers to carry out their mandates or to carry out their responsibility and, of course, meet up with their mandate. But let's get contributions from this next caller now. Good morning. Welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Edu from Cross River.
Edu from Cross River. Welcome to the program, Mr. Edu. Your surname seems similar, of course, to that of the former minister, but then welcome to the program. What's your take?
Yes, we are from the same level government.
Oh, interesting. Welcome. So, cabinet reshuffle or not? What's your take?
There's need for that anyway. There's need for reshuffling.
Okay.
Because going by the country situation, we really needed such development. But per se, I want to say that the economic policy of the country is also a factor that will make so many of the ministers not perform. Because for now, the economic policy where everything is dependent on the dollar, no stable economic situation. I wonder how anybody can perform very well. But we pray that the economic policy should also be worked on so that whoever is taking position of responsibility, you're able to perform. You can make decision and you know what the end of the decision will be.
Indeed. Thank you so much for your contributions, Adrian, on this matter, especially as it regards reshuffling the cabinet to improve performance of the ministers and of course to improve the economic situation, as it were, for Nigerians. Please, the calls should continue to come in. I of course expect to hear more comments and more contributions on these developments. We have another caller now. Good morning, welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Comrade Issa Jibrin Dauda from Tungamaji.
Issa Jibrin Dauda from Tungamaji. I believe that's Niger State.
Comrade Issa Jibrin Dauda from Tungamaji.
All right, Comrade Issa from Tungamaji. Go ahead with your contributions.
Thank you, sir. I can grade. There's only 3 ministers I see is working.
Okay, and they are who and who?
Attorney General, SCT, and Umaya is trying to.
Okay.
But his only try is based on one section. Because in the other section, I've not seen anything like Fashola was doing. He carried all the section along. But Umaya was south. There's nothing in the north, especially the north central. But I can grade Attorney General because of that autonomy of the local government that we have been aiming for.
A giant stride, some people would say.
Yes. The Wike, in fact, I can say is one of the best, especially the intervention of the area council, the 40% he gave to area council teachers.
But Comrade Issa, can I ask a question now?
Yes, sir.
What about I believe you're in Niger State. What about the likes of the Minister of Agriculture? I mean, we have the Minister of State, Sabi Abdullahi, who is also from Niger State. We've got other ministers as well. Are you saying that they should be replaced as well? We're talking about the Minister of Water Resources, the Minister of Environment, the Minister of Trade and Investment, the Minister of Mines, the Minister of Steels Development. All of these ministers you're saying should be replaced for non-performance, except just the 3 you mentioned, including the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Health.
Especially the agriculture is not doing anything. Agriculture is not doing anything, as far as I'm concerned. It's only these 3 ministers I can tell you that they are working small, and I can give the first position to Uke based on my experience, especially the intervention to this area council and 40% he gave to the teachers.
Indeed.
And as I'm speaking with you now, all the area council primary school FCT, they are on strike.
Indeed, we are aware.
Yeah. So if not because of Ikemi, all this problem has been there over 80 years, and no minister have intervened except Wike that came in, that intervened now for the 40%. And as I'm speaking with you now, I'm also a teacher. We are at home sleeping with our children, and the area councils are moving from one place to another, traveling from one place to another. So this man has been doing well. I don't know, even though they want to replace me, they should not touch UK. They can sack all the ministers except these 3 people. I'm advising the Mr. President.
All right, Comrade Issa, thank you so much for your contributions. Comrade Issa was very emphatic about the fact that just 3 ministers to him have performed, and all of the others who are remaining should be replaced. Thank you so much, Comrade Issa, for calling all the way from Tungamaji in Niger State. Of course, please keep the calls coming in. I believe we can still take 1 or 2 calls at this point. We have another caller now. Good morning. Welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from? So I would need you to turn down the volume of your TV set so we have a smooth conversation. Else, unfortunately, we would have to let you go.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Let's start with your name and your location.
Okay, my name is Mr. Monde. I'm calling from Anambra State.
Can you please repeat your name?
My name is Mr. Monde.
Mr. Monde from Anambra State. Welcome to the program, Mr. Monde.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your program.
Thank you so much. So let's kick off the conversation. A cabinet reshuffle is imminent. Who would you like, to remain, and of course, who and whom do you feel have or may not be performing, as the case may be?
Okay. See, the issue there is that some of those ministers don't know what they are called for. But more especially on terms of this Mr. Dave Omari, the Minister of Works.
Okay.
In fact, I think that they do very well. Like people traveling from Enugu to Benue, they already say that some roads there are already being on construction. And the quick intervention of some erosions at Anambra State here. So, in fact, including other works have been doing, like river something between Lagos Cross River within that side. So I heard that they've been doing well. So I appreciate his work. Just as my colleague just said now, he said about talk about Wike did well. So some of those people that did well, I would like them to
come back,
continue as a minister. To come back as minister. But those who have nothing in heart or to do, they have to be replaced. Because that was what happened during Buhari regime. Buhari just leaves the people that are not doing anything there for about 8 years or 7 years. And so that makes his administration very, very not working.
Truly.
So I would like those people that are working as ministers to continue their works.
All right, Mr. Monde, thank you so much for the call, all the way from Anambra State, with your submissions on the development. So it seems that a majority of the callers have been mentioning, similar names, just a few individuals who they feel that have been, delivering their mandates and of course responsibilities. But then again, this re-echoes what the spokespersons, or rather the media aide of the president, had mentioned, that the president had actually told these ministers to go out there to blow their own trumpets. This is really imperative, aside the fact that of course it means that they will be telling Nigerians what they've been doing in terms of promoting and propagating the renewed hope agenda of the president. But then how many Nigerians actually know all of the ministers and all of the ministries, save for few popular ones who were maybe governors in the past, or who have been for one reason or the other controversial? How many ministers do you know in the current cabinet? We have another caller now. Good morning, welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, my brother. My name is Yahya Isa from Niger State.
Yahya Isa, welcome to the program. Let's proceed with your contributions.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to have an opportunity to watch your live program now.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah. And I want to commend Daily Trust for being upright in terms of news broadcast in Nigeria. The platform have been sending positive messages to their listeners and viewers across the country.
Indeed, thank you so much. We so appreciate, and of course we will continue to uphold that trust between ourselves and of course our viewers and our audience generally.
Thank you very much. Now, looking at the topic on the table, the Honorable Minister's performance, I will want to commend the Honorable Minister of FCT, being someone who have been frequently visiting the FCT, looking at what happened with former Minister Muhammad Musa Bello, and the ongoing completion of capital project in the city by Honorable Minister Nyesom Wike is highly commendable.
So,
and
go ahead, Isa.
And I will want to, it's my personal opinion that I want Mr. President to keep Mr. Wike, because looking at where we are going, by now, if you visit capital cities of other countries, you will agree with me that the FCT we have is far behind. But with the coming of Wike, I believe we have a future to call Abuja our capital city. That's number one. And number two, we are seeing dividends of democracy at hand, especially in terms of security of lives and property. Previously, we've had so many breach of security, like kidnapping, armed robbery, and what have you. And then what the Honorable Minister was able to convince Mr. President that there is need to equip our security forces with communication gadgets and other utilities they need to carry out their jobs. That is commendable. And then the second Honorable Minister I want to commend is Sagir Abdullahi, who is from Niger State. The man knows what he is doing. Looking at the portfolio he's handling, if you have an opportunity to be with Dr. Sagir Abdullahi, you agree with me that the man knows exactly what he's doing. By convening pro-agricultural programs, seminars, and what have you, that will impact more knowledge on our farmers, what we need at the grassroots. So by just looking at these two, this is my personal opinion, to appeal to Mr. President to keep these individuals in his cabinet so that they can do more. We are seeing their handwork, and then we commend them.
All right.
And this is my submission.
Thank you so much, Yaya, for the submission. But then I really wanted to ask whether you know or can mention a sizable number of the ministers in this current administration.
Yes.
Okay, so you know quite a number of them. Out of the over 40 of them, let's say you can 40. Mention like 30 names.
At least no, I cannot mention 30. I can barely mention 10.
So does this mean that some of these ministers have been non-performing, in your opinion?
Honestly, in my opinion, majority of them have not been performing well beyond our expectation. And yes, we have problem in the land, and then what we are expecting is solution.
Indeed,
is solution, not for us to begin to ponder over these problems. There is an existing problem. Give us solution.
Indeed,
that's just what we are saying.
Truly. Yeah, thank you so much for the calling all the way from Niger State with your submissions.
Thank you very much, and Jumat Mubarak.
Jumat Mubarak indeed to you as well. And of course, we call it a wraps on this segment of Daybreak this morning. Thanks to all of those who were able to call into the program. For those who were unable to, well, we hope we get an opportunity to do so either tomorrow during, of course, Daybreak Extra, or next week Monday when the program comes to you live again. We'll now go on a short break, and when we return, it will be time for the crux of the conversation, talking about the discussion segment of Daybreak. Join us again.